All right. Welcome to the second Tez Tunas Tuesdays, the podcast. It's fun to say. We have Arena as a co host. Hello, Arena.
Hi, I feel like I'm lagging a little bit. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. I might be having some trouble with headphones, but I can hear you just well.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, hello. It's lovely, and thank you for inviting me to co-host. And we have already Fred requesting. Hey, Fred.
Hello, Fred.
Hi guys.
How are you doing today?
I'm okay. Just being busy with. There was another space for ArtNets just before MacD was running, so it was just a drop there. So I was just enjoying that, and I saw you send me this DM, so I was like, oh, good, yeah, I'll join this one.
Oh, awesome. Yeah, it's a busy Tez Tuesday. There's a lot of competing Tez spaces, which is great to see that everyone's in the community is talking about Tezos again.
She's done pretty good. She's done 80 Tezos in the 24 hours, and the space is just starting. So it'd be interesting to see what she does for the day if she sells out.
Oh, that's awesome. So she had a new drop?
Yeah, it's called Nature. I just picked up one. If you have a look at my replies, or you'll see I replied to her about the in the thread. But if you check out ArtNaz's pin tweet, you'll see some of the work there.
Oh, that's very interesting. I was silent. I sent some invites to the space, so just figured out it was Artnas. I'm gonna check it out.
Yeah, Fred, if you want to pin that up to the top so people coming in the room can see that, 'cause I'm sure other people will be interested for sure. All right. Can you hear me, Irina? I'm having some trouble with my headphones right now. Am I working right now?
No, you're fine. All good.
Okay. Sounds good. All right. So today, what I wanted to talk about was collecting on Tez. I know a lot of artists feel empowered by the Tez space to also be collectors, to collect from each other. And I'm just curious. I mean, I know my reasons for why I love Tez as a place to collect art from. And I was wondering what you think, you know, there's similar reasons or different reasons. Um, yeah, so I thought that's what we could talk about today.
Yeah, that's wonderful. I think so many people are collecting from each other, so it's the topic that will be of a great interest to everyone. And guys, please come up. I see many great people here already, so don't hesitate to request the mic.
Yeah, so I guess I'll get started and I'll let you know my reasons, I guess, to kick it off, and then Arena can let you know her reasons. So for me, I think what I like about Tez, one of the first things that drew me to it was the low gas fees. When I first jumped in, people were starting to sell editions on ETH, and even if the edition was, $10, $15 and relatively affordable, at the time the gas would be $20, $30. And on Tez, that just wasn't the case. It was like 20 cents. So it's great that if you do want to collect from a friend and support the friend, most of your money is going to the artist and not being burnt to a miner or baker or whatever it is. So personally for me, I just love that I can truly support the artist more than anything else. And I think that was my main draw to wanting to support my friends on Tezos instead of Ethereum, because my dollar can go a lot further and can support a lot more artists. So Rena, what about you? Why are you drawn to collecting on Tez?
Because it's fun. No, but really, I mean, where else do you have such a great variety of so many genres of art and for such a price that you can just grab and go? And you can, like, I love that Tezos has secondary sales market so flourishing that, like, for example, if I sell something from an artist that I picked up, like twice as high or sometimes even more, I can just go and collect from the same artist some more work, because really I collect the things that I love, and with some pieces I'm really very emotional to part, let's say, but like it's probably it's part of the game why I'm putting them on sale in the first place. But then since I sell this piece, I can just support this artist more and go check out their collections again, what new things they have. Well, also I think that it's an amazing way to explore something that you haven't seen before probably, and I seriously saw so many cool photographers and cool artists, and especially black and white, uh, like self-photography, self-portraits. I just adore them, and for some reason I discovered them on Tezos a lot more, and my collection has quite a few of them, and yeah. So it's let's summarize: it's discoverability of new artists, it's variety of cool artworks, it's possibility to flip the art like on secondary market, and the way to support your friends. Yeah, that's it.
Those were a lot of good reasons. And I was kind of laughing to myself when you said there are pieces that you list on secondary and don't want to part with, because I famously, so if you guys don't know, when Irina and I met in Portugal over the summer, and she gifted me a physical, like one of her physical paintings, and then also gifted me the Tezos NFT version of it. And I listed it for 10 million Tezos, which is more Tezos than exists because I don't want to part with it. And it's just my funny joke that I'm like, no, I'm not giving this one up.
Yeah, and now you and Jimmy just compete for the all Tezos in the world because he did the same.
Exactly. One of us is going to get that secondary and have possession of all the Tezos in the entire universe, and it'll be great. But you brought up some good fights. The discoverability is really great. I love sometimes just like looking on a hashtag on object.com and scrolling through. There's a lot of good sharing threads that people put. And then, of course, the events are a great way to discover people because people are all kind of rallying around a theme, which is pretty awesome. And then, Fred, would you like to share why you collect Tezos work?
Oh, sorry, I keep not hearing you clearly. Um, I got on Tezos because of the gas fee. So I was on Polygon, and I had people complaining they couldn't switch ETH to Polygon at the time. I didn't have the money to go to ETH, so I came over to Tezos. And I'll say the main reason I collect on Tezos, it's just so much great art here. I mean, every time I've got Tezos, it seems to just disappear onto great art. And, it's actually gets to the point where anytime I'm looking at the object or even other people, in fact, that's one of the first things I do. When someone buys from me, I'll go and check out if if we know each other, if we're connected on Twitter. Then I'll go and check out their art. If the art appeals to me, I'll buy some from them because I love the idea that other artists are supporting other artists. And as I said, it's just great that way because we're not burning gas. I mean, if we sell something for $5, we can go and put that $5 back into the market and not worry about paying $5 in gas. And that's why I think that we do that. And that's why I think, again, with the editions, like today, I went to that ArtNaz one today. She had an edition there. I was able to pick it up for for 2.5 Tez. And, I love that idea that, people can do, an edition of 10 or 20 and put things like that. Obviously, I'd be interested to see whether we go back to one-on-ones, but I think that just depends on the market. I think with this market, there's been a bear market since I've been here. I think that editions have been very popular for that reason. But no, I am actually looking forward to when the market does pick up. And of course, I'll be buying one-on-ones for 25 Tez and doing things like that because I really appreciate the art and I do like the idea of having one-on-ones. But, I certainly don't complain about buying editions.
think the thing that I like too about the gas fees that you bring up is I feel like it encourages people to experiment more, and that's why there's such great variety of art. With ETH, when you're paying, 5, 20, $30 to mint a piece, people want to be sure it's like the one, the only one. Whereas with Tez, you have a little more freedom to maybe mint something that you're like, will this work? Will people respond to it? And it just allows people to be more creative with different genres. So I love that point, Fred. I see a lot of people have jumped on the stage. If you want to speak, just please raise your hand. I haven't really been able to pay attention to who came on when, unless Arena's been paying attention, but I've gotten rugged a few times. So I've lost track of who's where. If anyone, I don't know if it was Vulcan was next. Arena, do you have an idea?
I think Vulcan was first, then either Jen or CRSD, and then someone else just requested. I can't see them anymore.
All right, so Vulcan, go ahead. Let us know why you like to collect on.
Hello, Lauren. Hello, Irina. Hello, everyone. Yeah. Um. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak. Yeah. I first of all, I want to say why do I like collecting on Tez? Like, I love collecting Tezos art because there are a lot of um like amazing artists in objects, and it's really like you could just get lost just looking at the platform. Initially, I started on Tezos because I was kind of like struggling on it, but I started to kind of like see some of my friends on Tezos, and I first started kind of like from collecting from them, and it's continued. And the reason why I kind of like collecting Tezos art is because like apart from kind of like also like supporting the artists, like I also really love the piece. I really like it, and some of them I do not like really list them. And just like what you said, Lauren, if I do list them, I kind of list it in a place that someone kind of like pay a lot to, because that's like how much I like it. We pay a lot to get it, that type of thing. So that's what I normally do, and the secondary market on Tezos really do is kind of like more effective on than on it, because I think people rarely list on like they rarely list things on secondary on it on like the way it is on Tezos. And I think secondary market is like really important like for artists as well, like even though nobody likes to kind of like talk about this, but it's yeah, it's a good thing. um that's what I would like to say like about Tezo's art. I think I wanted to say something more, but I lost my train of thought for a minute.
No problem. You can always come up later when you remember something.
Yeah,
We
just I'll just say just pop your hand up to jump in the conversation at any time. But sorry, Arena. Sorry to cut you off. Continue. Continue.
No, I mean that I think that since the space is recorded, me and Lauren and me, we just took such a tempo that it feels a bit stressful. So it's like all friends here. You can come up whenever you want.
Absolutely. Yeah. So, if
Yeah, I just sorry, Lauren. I just kind of like remembered something as well. I just wanted to like add on to that, because I always like trying to get people on board on Tezos, especially when they are not on Tezos, and I really want to collect from them. So I just kind of maybe ask them a little bit, please, are you on Tezos yet? When are you coming on Tezos? And they'll be like, I'm thinking about it or something. And then I'll just be like, yes, please tell me when you're coming on Tezos.
Yeah, right. I mean, there are some people whom I was trying to onboard on Tezos for quite a while, and it's just I cannot really afford to collect anything on ETH from them. But if it is Tezos editions, then I would be very happy to collect just like anything, like at least something from them, and it's like so cool. So yeah, that's absolutely correct.
Yeah, I love that. I'm definitely guilty of doing that too, where I'm like, oh, I love your style. You should check out Tezos. No reason, no reason. I think we're all a little guilty of that because I feel like once you start picking up things here and there in Tez, the idea of collecting anything on ETH is like, oh, really? You want me to pay how much in gas? No, thank you. So we're all trying to like convert them to our side, which is pretty funny. So I agree. But thank you, Vulcan. You bring up some excellent points. And I love what you brought up about the secondary and how it's important to artists. And I think you're right. I think having sales on the secondary gives the perception that your art is more in demand. And so the fact that Tezos can get that process moving a little bit sooner, rather than years down the line, is probably beneficial for artists trying to sell on the primary market as well. So that's a really good point that you brought up. All right. So, Arena, do you know who was next up here?
Yeah, as I said, either Jan or CRSD. I don't remember who was first, but you can go, whoever wants.
All right, go
Either of
for
you.
it.
Yeah. Hello, everyone. Can you hear my voice clearly or not?
Yes, we can.
Yeah, because it's a little bit noisy in my place right now. Yeah, so I want to introduce myself first. You can call me Adam. I'm from Indonesia, actually. So I've been on Tezos like almost years ago. I started my own drawing on Tezos, but then I don't know how it feels, but it feels like it turns. I want to collect so many arts on Tezos. I don't know why. I just love it. At that time, the community was really fantastic for me, especially because uh, I'm really noob. I joined the Tezos at February 2021, at the end February actually. So, but the most important thing why I love Tezos is the community itself, and then the art. I don't know why. I don't want to discriminate the other blockchain, but I found something authentic, something unique on Tezos for each of artists. Like they have their own style that really unique, so it can be replaced with any other artist. That is what I feel till now. So I've been vacuum on Tezos for like 5 months to focus on my real life. But then I'm trying to coming back, and I want to see how the community today, especially after the bear market a few months ago. But I still love Tezos anyway.
Well, awesome. Welcome back. And it's great to meet you here too. And I think with your point about it feeling authentic, I think it kind of goes back to Fred's point earlier, where he made the point that he kind of jumped on Tezos because he couldn't afford to mint on ETH. And I think that's true of a lot of people. And ETH loses out on a lot of talented artists just because the cost of entry is so high. And I think because Tez has that low cost of entry, it allows us to have that diversity of just authentic artists and different styles, and you don't feel like you have to do it one right way to be worth your investment, I think. So I think that's a good point that you bring up, that I definitely get that feeling too.
Yep, definitely. Because it's like at the first time I was thinking about the gas fee on Tezos or on ETH, but as the time goes on, I never think about the gas fees anymore because it's so affordable on Tezos at first, and then the art is so authentic. Yeah, like just like as Fred said to me, to us. But yeah, the most important thing is I don't know. I don't understand because the feeling is so different when I'm looking on ETH or the other blockchain. When then I see Tezos, the marketplace itself, like Hiketnang and then FX Hash, it seems so authentic. It's kind of, it doesn't seem like a marketplace, but a whole place that the artist is gathered together like that. It's really awesome.
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean. And I think it's because we've built such a strong community where people are willing to take risks and willing to try things and willing to support each other, which is really awesome. So thank you so much for your input and welcome back to Tezos. I do want to say hi to Joanne. We have Joanne, the lovely It's Little Things, up as our co-host today. How are you doing today, Joanne?
Good morning. I'm doing well. Good space so far. Lots of great feedback on Tezos art and why do we collect. I see the room is filling up very nicely. So that's always a wonderful thing when people feel they can share. Um, I want to say that I really collect art in general, not just necessarily on Tezos, right? And I think we all do that. I find it a little offensive, almost insulting to pay gas fees, which is why I don't collect much on ETH. Plus, it's difficult to get the ETH for me. I struggle with it. Um, so it's, I'm sure, a user issue, but that's beyond the point. But on Tezos, right? We've had so much fun on Tezos, not only as artists, but as collectors and as a community, and growing that community and really creating something that people feel comfortable to talk with each other on and participate in events. And those are the things that really drive my collecting. I never collect art that I don't love, but it's also something that I love to support small and emerging artists. So I actively search for those and try to find different ones that just pop out to me. And for me, the hunt or the search is like the most fun. It's kind of like when you're young and just starting out in life and you have a young family. And in the United States, we often go to places like St. Vinny's, or they have garage sales, and um, you go to find little treasures that you can help your family to emerge to be more successful without spending the full price, right? Tazels kind of reminds me of a community like that, that there's not that it's downgraded in any way, but there are people out there who do desperately need the funds, and based on their culture and where they live in the world, that dollar amount is a lot of money to them. So for us, in comparison, it may not be, but for them, it's extremely important and extremely useful. And supporting that is very close to my heart, because we all live at different. Places in culture, right? We not only, if you live in the United States, you obviously uh, probably have more discretionary income, even though people here don't believe so. It is true. But even as as you are of a poor level of having discretionary income as opposed to a higher economic level, um, how you spend your money is very important. So helping those people to find a way to move forward and find value in what they do and support that value, to me, is one of the greatest things we can do as a human being, not just as a collector, as a person. It's as a human being, right? We should be supporting and helping people to evolve and find their freedom and support their passions. So that is why I collect. That was a mouthful, right?
Yeah. No, I love that. And I love those points too. I think that's what's so nice. I love the feeling of there've been a few times where I've seen a piece and I'm like, it's like one, two Tez. I'm like, oh, that's beautiful. I love it. I collect it, don't even think about it. And then I see this tweet of someone being like, oh my God, this is the first time anyone's paid for my art. And I'm thinking like, okay, it was $1. But I mean, I remember that feeling the first time I collected my art. So like I love that I can give that feeling to someone and give them the confidence to keep going and keep producing and keep creating, because it's just that validation that someone cares and someone likes it and you're on the right track. And I love that Tezos, because of the low gas fees, because of additions, people like us who don't that aren't like money bags or anything have the power to spread that joy around the community, which is a really great feeling. And I definitely hear what you're saying there.
Yeah, and oh, sorry, Jenny, go ahead.
Just saying thanks, honey. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was just remembering that someone was saying that when artists are collecting from artists, it's not sustainable. But here I have to disagree with that because it's like we are building the movement and we are inviting lots of our acquaintances to join this movement, and it becomes so like inviting and warm community, and in the end I believe that everyone benefits from it, even if it's like sometimes just feels that money circulates from one to another. Like, remember the early days of Tunas when we were just collecting from each other and just
Oh yeah.
and then just spreading money to Sebastian. Yeah, so despite despite all of that hiccups, I really believe that when a friend can support a friend, and then there is this big community who can support someone who just dropped their first collection on Tezos probably, and they can feel this joy of being appreciated in this way. I think it's really powerful, and that's why I really disagree that this phenomenon when artists are collecting from artists is something that shouldn't be practiced.
No, I totally agree with that. And I also think it's just short-term thinking. Like I believe in the space, I believe it's going to grow, and I think that, will I be the next superstar? Maybe not. Will someone like Violet Bond be the next superstar? Probably. And I have a lot of her art, so I can flip that in 10 years. So
And
I
I
think
think that, like, already she is already a superstar, and you are as well. And I have things from both of you, and I just love being able to have it. Like when Violet drops something like those incredible pieces where she is covered in mud and holding those bones, which I would probably never encounter in my whole life because, like, it's not what I do really, but I really love how she does, and it just brings me so much joy to have something like this in my wallet.
yeah, awesome.
I also want to throw out there that there's more ways to support artists and collectors than just buying art, right?
Mm.
We are sharing their work, we're talking about them, we're bringing them to the forefront of individuals who are collectors and whether or not they're artists. And I think that's one of the most important things that we are adding value to the community. More importantly, I love collecting people. And I don't
Mm.
mean collecting them as in, I'm putting them in my back pocket and holding them for later, right? I am making these wonderful connections where I can talk to people all over the world of all different cultures and all different ways of speaking, right? We all speak differently, and we may not always speak the same language, but we do speak the same language of a love of art, and that has brought so many people together. And I think that to me is even more important than the art itself, right? It's those connections and being able to uh, really create this network and this community where I can say, oh, hey, I know this great artist that I think you would really love. It sounds like what you're looking for, and you can share that with that person, and vice versa. So you're helping two different people at the same time. And we have a lot of people in this room who are doing those same things, right? And
Mm-hmm.
they are connecting people. And Lauren obviously is one of them, and Irina and I- Toko Deco is out there doing all kinds of cool stuff and supporting all different communities. We have Masan out there, and we have Aaron from a more Dejin community, Dejin, which I don't understand the word yet, but I apparently might be one of them.
You sure are. You definitely are. Yeah.
Marianne is supporting people in different ways. You have all these people doing all these remarkable things and making these connections and growing the understanding of art and also growing the love of art. of different kinds of arts. So those are kind of cool things. So we're just blabbing up a storm, and we should probably let some of these other people talk.
Absolutely. Oh, these are great points. I lost track because I think it was Vulcan and then Joanne. I don't know if Toko, Jimmy, Claire, who came first. Do you know, Arena?
I have no idea.
All right, so
Probably
if
it was Jimmy.
Jimmy, why don't we go Jimmy and then Claire and then Toko and then Almeida and then Retro and then Saeed. I'm gonna write that down. Jimmy, go ahead.
Hey,
Welcome.
welcome. Thank you, Lauren. And hi, Joanne. Hi, Irina, and everybody else. First of all, Joanne, thank you for collecting me today. That was very cool. I appreciate that. But everybody touched on everything that I was going to say. I don't have ETH money to spend. Trust me, I'd love to, but I just don't have that kind of cash to support the artists on ETH. But I do on Tez. And I think something or Lauren you said before about barriers of entry. It's like it's such a small barrier of entry. I mean, even though it may be a large one for somebody in a country that or situation that can't afford it, and so they will look to Tezos to jump in, and they do. And it's great to find these artists that are coming from like Iran or Lebanon or somewhere where they have an obstacle to climb over just to get onto any blockchain because of regulations and stuff they have in their countries. So you find these unique artists that you would not find on Ethereum because they made the leap, and for them it was a giant leap just to get on Tezos, and you have to appreciate that. So for us to be able to support them, on a blockchain like that, it's huge. So I like wallet surfing. I like seeing other people who they're collecting and snatching up people and just randomly finding these amazing artists that are just like mind blowing. It's one of the reasons I love to collect. And like you said, I collect in the real world too. Actually, somebody I collected from, her name is Moon Cussert, right down there. I have one of her physical pieces. She's a friend of mine. And so, it's nice to be able to help artists everywhere, local artists, real world, Ethereum, if you can afford it, but Tezos because we can. And that's why we're here, right?
Yeah, that's an excellent point. Absolutely. It is cool that it just people from all over the world and all different countries and cultures, and I think that's why there's so much great artists because we get to see photographers from all over the world and we get to collect pieces from all over the world because again, the low gas price, it really is like Web3 is supposed to be like the democratization of the internet, and some of it's trying, but I feel like Tezos is the only chain that's succeeding at that because we're the only chain that is as open and it's accessible.
Exactly. And you know how many lives are changed around the world because of this, and it, we, like you said, we come from the United States. We're fortunate. We can, we just are, other countries are not so much. And it's to see, when I think it was back in late 21, I saw a couple artists whose lives literally changed overnight because their work was picked up, and it was just, it's a boost. It's an economic boost. It's everything, and it's also recognition that they probably wouldn't have gotten anywhere else. So it's helping people, you know, achieve that, even though we think, oh, Tezos, it's only $1, blah blah blah. It's huge for some people, and we have to respect that.
Yeah, I mean, personally, even if someone picks something up for me and a Tezos, like, yeah, one Tezos in Massachusetts won't buy me a coffee, but I just feel so good that someone liked my piece enough to go that extra step and pay money for it, even if it's 50 cents. I don't care. The fact that they're like, I like this enough not just to share it, not just to like it, but I'm actually going to give you some actual currency for this. It's a great feeling. Just in general, even for someone like me, where I'm like, oh, what am I going to do with $1? It still just feels good.
It's like receiving a vote, something like that.
Exactly, exactly. It's like a vote of confidence and just like it's like an Uber like instead of giving you a heart, I'm gonna give you a Tezos. Awesome. Well, thank you, Jimmy. So I'm gonna go over to Claire. Claire, are you there?
Good afternoon. I am, and I'm very sad because I couldn't hear Jimmy. I couldn't hear a word he was saying. I don't know why. Can you hear me?
I can hear you, and you missed out, Jimmy. It's recorded. You
Oh,
can listen later. Jimmy was so eloquent. It's so good.
because Jimmy's got that voice as well that we all love. So, damn it. I don't know why I can't hear him. Anyway, um, good afternoon, and it's so nice to hear you, ladies. Now, my journey was very similar to your journey on Tezos because we all started together. And first of all, I'd like to say that when I started, I think it was more or less the same for all of us. We were a bit down because we weren't making many sales on ETH, and we got together as a group. And I think that's very, very important. We became a community. We help each other. Um, I love the fact that like when we did the first tuna event in the summer, that I got to collect from people who'd never ever been collected from before, and they were so excited. They was like, "Oh, you're my first collector, and I've been here like for 9 months, and I haven't had anyone collecting from me," and that's a really really nice feeling. And also, the other day, for example, there was this guy who I met from Nigeria, and he wanted to buy. As you know, I'm a drone pilot, and he wanted to buy a drone, and he was asking for some help to get onto Tezos. So I was helping him, and I got him started because, of course, he was finding it really difficult to get on there, and also the Tez to actually get on there. And for me, obviously, I couldn't do that with ETH because I just can't do it. But with Tezos, it was a really nice feeling that I've helped someone just start. So those sort of things are really nice, and the fact that you don't have to, like, when if you buy something on ETH, you like spend a long time thinking, should I get it, should I not get it, and then when you actually see it's like, I don't know, 0.01, and then you actually have to pay like 0.03 because you've got to pay all these gas fees. That's, so that is a deterrent, and so that's why also I like Tezos, because you know that if it's like one Tez, it's one Tez, and that's it. So those sort of things I really like, and of the community, I think we all help each other so much, and I just feel really relaxed here. And if you have a sale, fine. And if you don't have a sale, fine. But you don't have that pressure that you have on ETH. So I really, 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 really like it here. So yeah, that's what I wanted to say.
Awesome. Yeah. No, no, I totally agree. I think the community aspect of it is great, and that's awesome that you helped someone get on Tez. It was either today or this week. That's just wonderful thing to do, and just, like, paying it forward.
Well, I mean, like giving someone like 3 or 4 Tez is not a big deal. But I think to get someone started, and to, like, I sat down with this guy for like 2 hours, and I was explaining it all to him, and how we should price and how we shouldn't price and things like that, and that's a really great feeling, I think, because I'm this might be someone that's a future artist that we've helped to get onto to this blockchain. So I'm very proud, and I really like helping people, and yeah. So yeah, I love the community. So yeah, definitely.
Me too. Me too. Awesome. Thank you. Thank you. All right. So I do want to move to Toko because we have quite a few people waiting to speak. So Toko, hello and welcome.
Hi, guys. Thank you for letting me up to speak. I really like the topic of conversation today. The why do you collect Tezos art, and because it is quite unique, and I feel like it's different from collecting on Ethereum or anywhere else. And part of that, I think, has been touched upon, the gas fees, right? But there's been sort of a culture of uh, or maybe that's why it happened, just the ability to experiment for artists and also to take risks for collectors. So, for example, on Ethereum, you might think twice about collecting a piece because you know that every single transaction is going to have um, an associated fee with it, right? And so you might hesitate from just picking up that one piece by like a new artist or somebody who's not getting a lot of traction, because you're thinking like, okay, well, I'm gonna have to do this. I'm gonna every time you do something, and there's gonna be a fee, and so you try to be maybe more like strategic. And so the mentality that goes into it is very different. But on Tezos, as a collector, it feels like you can really put more effort into taking those risks and those chances, and also in helping the artists with their growth in Web3. So a lot of the times, for example, I've collected maybe a piece for 5 or 6 Tezos from an artist that's not being noticed quite as much, or they're just not getting a lot of traction yet. And I look at their work and I'm like, oh my God, this needs to be highlighted. It needs to be seen by people. And sometimes it happens that there's artists from everywhere in the world, like was just mentioned, and not everyone speaks the same language. So it might be hard for that person to go up to these spaces on Twitter and um, like speak about their work super comfortably, or they might be shy, or whatever the reason is. There's just some people who are not able to do that side of things. And as a collector, you have the ability and the power to make an impact on those pieces and those collections that you feel deserve to be seen. So I like in the past, there's been times when I've collected a piece for super low price like that, and then um, the way you list it, and the way you tell others about it, and the way you speak about that person in a Twitter space, you bring up their name, other people will start looking at that person that they've never thought of before. And then they'll see like so and so bought it, or like maybe they're the first artist doing a certain thing that they never noticed before until your friend bought it. And like these are the kinds of things that happen in the Tezos community that have a real impact. And I've seen those pieces and those artists go from barely being bought and just being like a couple of US dollars to a couple months later just selling for 10 times or even 20 times as much. And that really happens, and you can really do that as a collector in this space, and just as a community member on Tezos. um, it's an impact that you can have that's very palpable and very real. um, and Yeah, that's one of the reasons why I love collecting on Tezos. It's just kind of, and you also see the artists taking more risks, in the kind of work they're doing. They're not all necessarily trying to do, I don't want to say cookie cutter, but just appeal to only make things sell, because each thing costs the artist so much more to be able to put on the blockchain, etc. So on Tezos, I see a lot more risks being taken just artistically, a lot of more interesting things going on that is really exciting, that um, I get super super excited to see and want to tell others about. So that's just my my 2 cents on it.
Excellent points. Go ahead, Arena.
Yeah, can I quickly jump in on what Toko just said, that more risks and stuff like that? I mean, when we have Tezos events, which I haven't seen in any other blockchain, on Tezos event, you just pour your soul into creating something specifically on the topic, which is always very challenging and fun, and pushes you to create something probably different from your style or from your existing collection or from your topic or whatever. And then you are just so curious to see how others played around with it, and just like browsing the hashtag with the event topic, or just going on object and seeing what other people created, and then discovering someone new or seeing what your friends did. It's just next level of excitement for me. And yeah, Lauren, when we have some break between the speakers, could you please announce, or Joanne, since it was your idea, the upcoming Tezos event for people who might not know about it yet?
Yeah, just so you guys know, next week Lily White is going to be with us, and she's going to be talking about the history of Tezos spaces because her and Tez Tunas played a not Tez Tunas, sorry, Tez Town played a huge role in the first Tezos spaces, getting NFT Biker involved. So next week she's going to be here to let us know how that all got started. But Joanne, I guess now might be a good break. I have it pinned up top if you want to give like a 90-second rundown because our event does start tomorrow. And then after that, we will go on to Mandala. So, Joanne, are you there?
I am here. Um, we are having an event for the whole month of February, and everyone obviously is included because we love to have events and get people involved in the community. So the event is called My One and Only, and that is the tag. So that is a primary tag that we are using, and then each week we're having a theme. For the theme for this beginning week starting tomorrow is Love Everlasting. So you can choose to mint a 101 edition for 14 Tezos or 22 editions for 2.14 Tezos. And the purpose is to kind of push up the value of what we're creating in art. And then it also gives you the opportunity at the end to either leave the remaining pieces and increase the prices or whatever it is you feel you need to do, or to burn them. So we're trying to make it kind of fun and doing it something um, a little different, and moving things around a little bit, moving pieces around so we can get people more comfortable with all of the cool stuff that we do. And with that, I have to go. I have to make a phone call for work. My job, guys. So I have to leave, but Toko maybe will step in as co host as she offered as well.
All right, sounds good. And it was great having you with us, Joanne. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank
Uh,
you.
have a good day. And if anyone has any questions about the event coming up, just drop them in the chat bubble, and one of us will be more than happy to answer you there. But I do want to move along a little bit. So I think Mandala was next year. Upside down username was throwing me off, but I clicked on your profile and I figured it out. So hello and welcome.
Hello, Lauren. Hello, Brainzest, and thank you for the space. So we're just talking like why we collect on Tezos, correct?
Yeah, like what motivates you to collect? It could be anything from what pieces, the kinds of pieces you collect, or just why you choose to collect on Tezos, whatever that question means to you.
Gotcha. Well, I'm pretty new to Tezos, so I'm not a huge collector yet. I have made some purchases, um, but I guess I could tell a little bit about myself and why I decided to come over to Tezos, and how I'm enjoying it so far. I was a Polygon maxi, so I have a sold out collection on the Polygon network, and I collected a lot of art on the Polygon network because of the low gas fees. Um, and I guess Tezos was just like an extension of that. I came over here to, try and put my art on a different blockchain, and the the accessibility to the art is like bar to none. Like I'm able to collect work from people who I've known for a long time, who they have like uh, cheaper value stuff like on the Tezos as opposed to their Ethereum stuff. So it's really allowed me to support some friends that I haven't really been able to support yet. And I really, at least in my experience, I love how easy it is to use the Temple wallet and to use Object to collect work. It's like very much like just click and buy. You don't have to worry about it. I'm a big fan of the low gas fees, coming from Polygon, and it makes me feel better. Um, I know it's been touched on, but like say I wanted to buy a $5 piece on Ethereum, I might end up spending like $12, $13, and that money isn't going to the artist. It's just kind of poofing in the thin air. So I like that with Tezos, I'm able to give pretty much 100% of the money to the artist. And yeah, I've been just absolutely loving the blockchain so far. I've been trying to connect with as many people as possible. Um, I love following people on Object, seeing all their new mints and stuff. But for me, it's definitely the low gas to no gas, and people are putting out their just phenomenal art for a lot cheaper than they would on Ethereum or even Polygon. I know Polygon's usually in like the $7 to $10 range is what most people will list on Polygon. Ethereum, can go up to anything, but then Tezos is pretty much, I've noticed, like you can get an edition for less than $5 from a lot of people, and I really enjoy that. I do plan on being a bigger Tezos collector, but I kind of got to do the same thing I did on Polygon and get my wallet funded by selling art first. So I do have a little bit of volume on my collection. I have put some back into the community, but I think as time goes on and I make more sales, I'm definitely going to be a bigger Tezos collector. I love collecting artwork. I love showing support to people. And basically, Tezos just makes it really easy to do that. So I guess that's my 2 cents on the topic. And Lauren, I appreciate you for letting me have the opportunity to talk to some Tez heads about Tezos. Appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you. And welcome to the Black Train. So, the event that Joanne was talking about, events are a really great way. So if you do have a piece to participate in the event, like personally, when we did our first event in the summer, I just followed literally anyone who minted something and try to make the connections that way. So if you're looking to get more connected with the community, participate in that event, use the hashtag, searching the hashtag, and just follow everyone. It's a good way to hoover up a lot of Tez connections very quickly. It's one of the best parts of events, and it is starting tomorrow. So just keep an eye out for that.
Got you. Well, thank you for the information. Thank you for the space, allowing me to talk a little bit. Appreciate you guys. And I look forward to growing and connecting on Tezos for sure.
Awesome. Thank you. We look forward to seeing more of you around. So let's go to Retro Manny. How are you today?
Hi Lauren, hi Arena, hi Toko, hi everyone in the space. Yeah, thank you for allowing me to speak. I'm really passionate about this, and I'm really glad that you've put this space out there because over the last year, I made a decision to come into Tezos, and it hasn't let me down. If I'm going to be honest with you, it's been a really really good experience, and for all the reasons that everybody has said. So I'm not really going to go over them, but I think a really important aspect of this is if you are going to onboard people, when you talk about Tezos, it's like what Mandala was just saying. It's such a good experience. Yeah, it's a little bit, there's a few complications. It takes a bit of time, but I really can't see someone having a bad experience once they figure it all out and they're sort of in there, and the community is so helpful, which makes it so much easier. And then they're off collecting and selling. That's the beauty of this whole thing. It's an ecosystem, and I totally agree with what Arena was saying earlier about artists collecting from artists. Is it sustainable? I think it's not only is it sustainable, it also is why it is a movement. It might be a small community, but we're making a lot of noise, and it's because of how supportive we are. There's not a lot of other just industries where people support each other so much. It's always with a movement. Whether look at punk rock or hip hop, graffiti, and all that kind of stuff. There's always kind of an inner community that starts it and makes so much noise that people can't ignore it anymore. And that's kind of I think that's where Tezos is at the moment. I used to be a teacher, right? And one of my big things is trying to take the whole blockchain experience back to schools and colleges and universities, because there's a lot of resistance, especially in the UK is my only experience, but in the UK there's a lot of resistance. And I know Mizan is obviously UK as well, but even that, when you go to some of these art galleries and talk to them, it doesn't, for whatever reason, doesn't carry weight. It's just there's a bad reputation with NFTs because of what the media says or whatever it might be, or because of what artists who aren't in the NFT game say. It carries a lot of weight in that respect. So I think if you are going to educate people into something that is so radically different, I think Tezos, for me, is the way to explain it. and one of my plans is to go back into colleges and universities and talk to them about this experience, not about ETH, kind of, not about even Solana. I know Solana's got some great things because I don't know Solana too well, but I think Tezos is the one that you can talk to people about very confidently, very securely, and say this is going to be really good. Just give it a chance. Let me show you how. And I think because of the price, because of it kind of goes against every misconception that people have about NFTs. I think it's the one to bet on, and it's the most enjoyable. It's the one that people can have most fun on for all the reasons that everybody said. But yeah, that's all I wanted to say. And thank you for having this space.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you so much. And while you were talking, it sparked my mind about the idea of more mainstream adoption. I did see an article yesterday. I need to find it. But the California DMV, which is the California Department of Motor Vehicles that gives licenses, they're toying around with rolling out a blockchain-based licensing system, and they are actually working with Tezos to do so. So I think Tezos, it's great art, but I think that Tezos as a blockchain is making big moves that we're not even aware of that are pretty cool. So that's like a pretty big push for mainstream adoption if your driver's license might be on Tezos in the state of California. Arena.
Yeah, Retro, do you know Pax Roman? He's on Tezos as well, and I believe he's a college teacher in Indonesia, and what they do that they educated a group of students to onboard their projects onto blockchain. I'm not very much into the details, but I can suggest that if you contact him, you probably will have a lot in common to talk about this stuff. I will DM you his handle just in case.
Yeah, that would be really helpful. Yeah, that's really good. Actually, that's really important. I mean, just one more point I was going to make, just based on that, is I think when we are going to educate people about coming into this, I've seen the report about the top 50 sales, and I think we should look more about how can people's lives change based on this? How can people actually have this as a job, not become the top 50 and be famous or whatever it might be. I think it's about how can people actually start to use this to change their lives, and that's the kind of metric for me that we want to start looking at, and it starts in education, because if we get to people young enough and tell them this, by the way, is an option, and I'm sure everyone in here who is a parent, their children are looking at them as parents, thinking, "Oh, this is a thing." It's that they're not those misconceptions and barriers are broken already. So we can start opening it up to people, and it truly becomes democratized then. And yeah, so I think it's a really important thing. So let's hope, man. 5 years time, we're in a very different world. But yeah, thank you for letting me speak anyway.
Awesome. And then Toko, you have something to add?
I did. Hi, Retro. So I was just thinking back of how I got onboarded to NFTs and how, I thought it was all pictures that were more PFP, like profile pictures of apes or whatever kind of projects. And then that person had to kind of dig through OpenSea and find, which is the sort of the main marketplace on Ethereum, and find some artwork for me to see. And then I was like, oh, okay, I get it. Um, and that's when I sort of started to feel inspired and thought of all the possibilities once I saw that there was actual art on the blockchain, which I had no idea about beforehand. And from just looking at OpenSea, I wasn't. That's Ethereum. I didn't get that impression at first, but I think if, for example, there's an artist and you show them something like Object on Tezos, then they're going to be able to see right away, all the artwork that's on there and just the quality and the level of it. And I think that might immediately inspire them and show them what can be done just from them seeing that and having a different experience of what an NFT looks like.
Yeah, those are excellent points and about the misconceptions and like it is up to us to kind of hold people's hands and say like, no, look, it's not just PFP projects. Like this is a viable way to share art and sell art. So thank you, Manny, for joining, and thank you, Toko, for adding that. So it looks like Sadia had to drop down, so we will go to Halil. Hello, Halil. How are you?
Hello, hello, hello. This is your captain speaking, and we're live. How are you doing?
I smile every time you do that. It makes me so happy.
You're very welcome.
So yeah, we're talking Tez, talking collecting on Tez. What's your main motivation for collecting?
well, let's talk about. I'm just rolling the film a little bit back to because the Tezos is my first stage to get my art value. It's not like I mean that. Well, I'm a photographer, but also I'm a student currently studying, and I do photography for like a part-time business. So I couldn't mention that part of the photography is like an art. Of course, it's a sort of art, but anyway. But when I start to get value on my art is on Tezos, on Web3, and that's makes me quite a bit motivation to creating more. And when I see that awesome art and community there, uh, you know, and also we saw that is actually we see that in Tezos people are supporting and pretty awesome that. And sometimes I believe that uh, the one little push, even though it's whether or not sometimes collect, sometimes share it to people or your whatever platform on maybe Twitter, maybe different platforms, etc. Just the little one push helps that artist to move up. So I see lots of time on here. So here's my quick motivation that we can explain it more uh, supportive community maybe for that because we've seen many events like as a purpose of supporting new artists, supporting the community or any charity, etc. So it's for a good cause in the end. And also it helps to, of course, to some there are lots of artists that here living just one income for that his or her own art. So it helps to make them progress their life. So here it is.
Yeah, those are such great points. I love it. I love the idea that like one little push because you're so right. Sometimes one one share is the share that gets your piece in front of the right eyes, or it's just the validation that like you're on the right track to keep going and keep creating. And it is just cool that we can make these little ripples for each other globally, which is awesome.
Yeah, very indeed. And also uh, on Tezos, like there's so many art and so many people around there. And how could I say, even though there are some arts, I collected so many arts, and some of them are I just like it. Some of them are I like the person, like how he creates themselves, himself or herself on Web3, like on Twitter, on his personality. At some point, the personalities matters, at least for me. And so that helped maybe make some progress. So at some point also we saw the classic NFT uh, base like PFPs the hypes, lots of hypes there. So when we look at it on Tezos, it's probably the best ever blockchain on Web3 with both social and well featured.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely spot on with all of that. I couldn't agree. I couldn't agree more. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for sharing with us, Halil. And I'm so glad that you're on this journey with us. And keep doing your pilot thing because it just, I don't know, it cracks me up every time. I love it. It's great branding. I think next up we had Boxio and then Akura, sorry. So Boxio, hello, how are you today?
Hey everyone. I'm sorry if you can hear like noises in the background, but I put the washing machine on and spinning, of course, when I'm talking, so I do apologize. But no, I'm good, thank you, and thank you. Yeah, hi everyone. Hey Irina. Hey Lauren. Hey Toko. No, I just wanted to pop in and kind of have a chat. I don't know what else I can add that hasn't been added before, but I'm kind of very similar to Halila. I suppose that I did start on Tezos. I didn't start on ETH. I very much gravitated towards Tezos more because because of the low fees, because of the accessibility that was there, in my opinion. And collecting on Tezos, I think, is really important because to me, it really is a community. And I know that's like 100% cliche to say, but it does feel like I think the biggest collectors for me are like artists that I know and are other friends and people that create art. They're not maybe like on ETH. I think there are people that are like just collectors, and I think we don't really have that on Tezos, but we have artists. So I think on Tezos the power is with the artists, and I think I find that really valuable. And yeah, there is so much out there, and there's so much beautiful work and all the events. Like you said, Lauren, they really allow us to connect with people we wouldn't have normally connect with probably. And yeah, it's just a great space. And yeah, I am a Tezos fangirl, so I am biased, but I think it is a great space to be and collect art on as much as you can. And I think in real life before I got into NFTs, I was like collecting prints and things like that, in of normal art and stuff like that. So I think it kind of just follows that just on a digital manner, I suppose. It's still kind of like collecting prints or collecting vinyls or something. You just do on the blockchain. So yeah, I think it's really valuable. Yeah, if someone in this space isn't on Tezos, yeah, I definitely recommend you check it out and give it a go because I think it's a great place. What I want to say also is that Tezos is very undervalued, I think, and there is a lot of like sometimes people think that oh, I'm just gonna mint this because it's not good enough for Ethereum, which I don't think is a good mindset to have. I think we should respect Tezos as a blockchain in its own right, and it shouldn't be used as a or I've definitely heard it, like, oh, people are minting stuff like that. So I just want to reiterate that it's not that for that. It's there's really amazing art there that is really valued on its own. But yeah, that's my little 2 pence. But thank you for the space, Lauren, again.
Awesome. Thank you, Boxio. And yeah, no, I completely agree with that. Like, I put my best work on Tezos. I know almost everyone in this room puts their best work on Tezos, and that's not the attitude that a lot of people in this room have, but I have heard that thrown around by other people outside of the community. And I'm always like, what are you talking about? Like, my Tezos piece is going to be displayed at NYC NFT. I always flip that up. But like, if it was garbage, it wouldn't have gotten in. So like, what are you talking about? So it's a myth that I like to work to dispel. So Jimmy, you have a point?
Well, that was the mindset back in the early days of Tezos back in Hicknock in like late 21. That you put your good stuff on Ethereum and you put your crap stuff on Tezos and you might make a few bucks, and that was just the whole mindset of it. Now it's like I've seen some phenomenal grade A quality work that goes on Tezos, and it isn't like that anymore, and I'm glad it's not like that anymore.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. Toko?
Yeah, I would refrain from doing that. The whole like putting your higher quality work on Ethereum and your less quality work on Tezos or however, because you do have a lot of very art centric, art minded folks on Tezos, being the art blockchain in a way. It has drawn that community, really concentrated community of artists and art lovers who love it for the art. So if you're going to be putting on there, like, they can kind of tell right away that it's not your best work, and they can tell right away that it's kind of like your, I don't know, your throwaway, or like your so you're not going to want to do that. You have some very discerning buyers there on Tezos. So you're going to want to put your best foot forward everywhere. And I guess the way I think of it is just, maybe if you are going to mint on different blockchains, just kind of make it about different things, possibly, or divide it up in a different way, so it's not like, well, this is the bad version of the artwork I make, and here's over there's the good version of the artwork. You can just maybe play with the blockchain in a way that actually um, helps highlight and emphasize your best work.
Yeah, absolutely. And I see Sakshi has her hand up. Welcome, and go ahead and jump in.
Hey guys. No, I think Taika just said what I wanted to add, that I feel that if you are an artist, no matter what you're doing, be it an open edition, be it a charitable edition where all the proceeds are being donated, or let's say you're doing an experiment, I think the beauty of the space is that we can experiment with other blockchains in terms of meeting new people. But you got to put your best work out there, the stuff that you want, because you're essentially leaving a legacy for eons to come. And why wouldn't you put like your best work out there? And how I've worked around it is, I would say I've taken platforms and blockchains for as opportunities to put in, like, as photographer, like different types of photography that I do. So as like I'm meeting different kinds of people from each platform and blockchain, and that kind of expands my horizon. So I'm not actually limited to one circle. Um, I'm, it's exciting. I mean, that's, I think, the value that comes from different platforms and different sort of, like, I've genuinely met some of the best collectors through Tezos. Like, I who like DM me first. Who does that, right? Like, they've collected and I get to know, and I'm like, oh wow, okay. And I'm not much of a texter, or like, so that, and they're more excited about what I'm up to and what I'm coming out with next than sometimes even I am. So if you're feeling demotivated as an artist, I think Tezos that way has been like, as a whole platform, like inviting that kind of energy where people are genuinely happy for you, and they want to support you. And it's not like there's a certain definition between artist and collector. Like, if I've put out like 3 pieces of work, I must have collected over maybe 100 or something, or more. I don't even know. But the idea is that you don't know, because you're just out there, and this, when the mood hits, you're like, I'm there. I'm gonna pick this, I'm gonna pick that. Oh, like, that looks great. And it's like the best experience ever, because you're genuinely collecting stuff that A, makes you happy, B, that you're never gonna let go. And I think the happiest is that when somebody actually finds out that, oh, they've been collected, it just brightens everybody's day. So I don't know. I mean, I like Tezos. It's given a lot of sunshine, a lot of positivity to the space, and in general, it's such a badass sort of place. Like, I know so many people have explored different kinds of mediums as well. So I like that. I enjoy that.
Those are such excellent points. Yeah, no, you're right. It is that great feeling of just, like you said, sunshine and positivity, of like, it just a good community where everyone does genuinely want each other to succeed, which is just, I feel like, so rare in any industry, which is really, really cool. So thank you, Sakshi. I see 21 Merchants has your hand up. Is it related? I do have you on the list. If it's related, go ahead. If not, we'll let Akura go ahead. But 21 Merchants, do you have a point to add to that?
Yeah, I wanted to add like I feel like Tezos is like a portfolio, you know, like it's like a portfolio where you can like put all your work like and then show like to other people because I feel like with other markets like the open sea, it's like people come to the market with the mindset to flip the work like to make profit, which and yeah, cool, flip the work to make profit, but at least hold it for like more than 5 days. That kind of mindset. Like, and people are, like on the quick flips, but Tesla's is a calm market. Like, I feel like people actually buy the art for art, and it's a vibe. And the website looks nice as well and fits my aesthetic. So that's why I like Tezos.
Yeah, those are absolutely excellent points about, collecting art for art because you like the art. And then Elmo saves, do you have something to add to that?
Oh, I was just trying to express why I enjoy collecting on Tezos. So if you have a specific order you're going in, by all means, go ahead.
Okay, yeah, I do have you on the list, but I do want to go to Akura first because she's been waiting for a little while. So thank you for that. Akura, welcome.
Hello, Lauren. Hello, Rina. Hello, Toko, Marian, Claire, Sakshi, Boxy, and all friends here. First of all, I just want to thank you for the space. Not always I can jump in. I'm in Flare space, so I'm really glad to be here today. And really great topic because I just remember when I started for the first time, it was because you, Lauren. I just remember your Tezos Tuesday, and actually before I hear from Tiba and Anil that's about Tezos, but never tried to like and I'm glad that I'm with you, girls, guys. So yeah, thank you very much for that. And why I started to collect Tezos because Tez Tunas events, people started to buy from me, and after I just tried and decided to start to collecting too. I can say that I'm not like big collector because I'm collected about 20 or 23 pieces, something like that, but it's really interesting like experiment because the first sight when you're artist you just can create some art, but actually it's really interesting to feel that feelings when you just collecting art, like feelings from like collector's side, and you can like learn a lot of your mistake, I mean from mistakes, artist's mistake, photographer, whatever. And yeah, actually for me, I just feel myself not comfortable when I started to, because on Tezos I saw like more people doing like editions. I'm not feeling oh my god, sorry for my English. I'm not feel myself like comfortable with that, and but after I just tried, I really like that because with editions, yeah, like you can put like affordable price, and why I like this is because you don't have to waste your time and searching for like lower gas and you can just collect and don't think about it. Actually you can mint your piece in each time you want, I mean your free time. So yeah, actually I like Tezos because I see a lot of stuff there, and people experimented with their style too. Oh, what else? Actually, yes, I mean I feel more free with my art on Tezos because I can experiment with photography, with my art, to mix all that stuff. Because on Ethereum blockchain, it's really a bit different, I think. And what else? Um, yeah, I think actually I don't like to mint a lot of art because I'm started like one-on-one artist, so I just prefer to not mint and list a lot of editions mostly. But if it's event, it's okay. Yeah, this is my view. Thank you, girls.
That is awesome. Those are all very good reasons. And I love what you said about minting when you have time. Like I really relate to that too, because I have two kids. We're busy, and sometimes when I'm ready to mint, I'd run into ETH and it'd be like, "Oh, Bored Ape Yacht Club is doing something, so that'll be $3,000." And I'm like, "What? I don't. What? It's supposed to be $5." And I love that we never have to worry about that on Tez. It is pretty great. So that's an excellent point too. All right, so I do want to move along a little because I do want to wrap up by 2 at the very latest. So next we have SKL. Welcome, SKL.
Hello, how are you?
We are doing lovely today. How about you?
Very good. Thank you for having me. So, oh, by the way, sorry, my name is Tony. I didn't present myself. I'm from Spain.
Nice to meet you.
Very nice to meet you. Thank you.
So do you collect much on Tez?
Not right now. Right now, I'm focusing on creating things, but I really like the platform, and I'm really looking forward to collect on the future there in Tezos. As Sakura said, and as many other, I mean, as most of you have said, and I love the platform, how the gas is right now, and I don't know if you have some information about this. I would like to know. So, will the gas be different in the future, or will this stay like it is right now? Because right now, how the gas is structured, I think it's awesome, and it's very 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 good for artists and for collectors as well. As Akira said, you don't have to worry about that. But what do you have any information regarding gas in the future?
Someone feel free to raise your hand if you know more than I do. But as far as I know, that it's the blockchain itself is proof of stake, which means it uses less resources, and that means it would be cheap forever, just because it was built that way. But Marion, if you want to jump in, if you have a little more information.
Um, I don't know a lot personally about it, but I just know I remember Victoria and I think Crip King and one of their spaces just saying, if anything, it will keep going in the good direction, in the less expensive direction. It's not going to get more expensive. It's going to get less expensive as time goes on.
Wow, thank you for the information. That's great. That's perfect. I feel really comfortable with the platform, and I'm minting my last pieces there. And as I said, in the future, I'm looking forward. There is very 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 good art there, and I'm looking forward to collect more pieces. Right now, I'm just starting.
Awesome. Sorry, thank you, and welcome, welcome. Yeah, and feel free to jump in to the event we're running starting tomorrow. It's a great way to
Oh yes,
get involved.
about that. Yes, I would like to know more about that event. If very briefly, I know you probably talked about that before, but I just missed that, and I'm interested.
Yeah, so it's a Tezos community event where we're all minting around a theme. So the main hashtag you would use is my one and only. What we mean by that is when you mint a piece, you would mint a new piece on object.com or Taya, and you would use that hashtag for like in your description of the piece in the hashtag spot. I actually on my blog I have a whole like step-by-step tutorial of how to make sure you participate the right way. And when the space ends, I can actually send that over to you so you can kind of read through the step-by-step to make sure you're doing it right so that you can participate and get to know lots of Tez people.
Oh yes, yes. Thank you very much. I will do that.
Awesome, no problem. Yeah, I will after the space, I'll drop the link in this bubble of the space and I will also send it directly to you. So awesome. Thank you. And thank you for joining us. And I'm glad that you're in the taste. Toko, do you have something to add?
Yeah, I wanted to add that from the WizardCon NFT account, we'll be also obviously highlighting that event. However, we're trying to figure out the best way to add a multi-chain component to it so that people in other blockchains are encouraged to participate, but in a way that still highlights obviously Tezos and helps to onboard people to Tezos and gets everyone looking at all the artwork. So we're sort of in the process of figuring out the best way to do that. And as usual, we give away stuff during these events, and it's usually always from the Tezos things. So it's a way to encourage people to make a Tezos wallet just to receive any giveaways and all that. So yeah, we're trying to figure out the best way to incorporate a multi-chain sort of NFT art party component to it. But yeah, so we'll let you know how that works out.
Awesome. That's great to hear and exciting to add. Awesome. Thank you. All right. So I would like to go to Marianne. I had you next on my list, Marianne. Hello.
Hello. I don't have anything really profound to add. I've heard, I think, all of the commonalities, the strong points for Tezos. I would just say I can bottle it down to 3 words of why do you collect Tezos art? I would say because I can. I mean, because from day one, I think when I first minted, I had to use it from whatever the coin thingy setup. I'm not making sense today. I know I'm not. Um, there was like a minimum of $30 that I had to put in, and that gave me 18 Tez. So I was able to mint my first piece, and then I sold my first piece that same day and bought my first piece, and it was just like off to the races and no looking back. And it just, I know it's already been mentioned, like just being able to collect from people that I've admired on ETH, but not been able to afford. And yeah, so all of the things. That's all.
Awesome. I love that. I wrote that down because I can, because I think we've all just spent an hour and a half saying that in more or less fancy ways, but at the end of the day, it's because I can. So thank you for cutting right to the chase and right to the point of it, because that is so very true. All right. So is Eli still here? Did we lose Eli? Looks like we did, but Clinton looks like he rugged and came back. So Clinton, why don't we head to you? Hello and welcome. I don't think I've met you before.
Hello, I'm Quentin. Well, I used to have an account, Chewy NFT. I've been around for like a year, but something happened to it, so this is my new account. But anyway, I got on Object and Tezos and got my Temple wallet over the weekend, and I got my first collection going yesterday, and oh yeah, and so with me being a physical painter, oh, and I want to collect Tesla's art just like Mandala did, like with the proceeds that he makes from his art, just to reinvest it back in more NFTs. That's what I plan on doing with my Tezos. But if I had about 12 of my paintings get like destroyed by an accident. And so how should I market that to my NFTs? Should I like price them a little bit more and like tell people about it, or just not even think about it? Does that make the NFTs go up higher?
That's a good question. I would ask Arena or Jimmy because they both mint NFT versions of their physical work. So what would your guys' thoughts be on a situation where someone was minting an NFT of a physical work that no longer exists? Is it worth more or less? What would you do? Any
I
ideas?
would definitely market it as such. That's kind of a neat. I mean, it sucks. I'm sorry that happened to you, but it's a neat way to approach it. I don't know. I don't know. It depends. It depends. I have pieces that I made and then sold, but I took photographs of before I sold, and then like later made NFTs. But that's completely different. Not destroyed. What do you think, Arena?
Yeah, it's for me. It's a bit different as well. All my physicals are left in Ukraine, and
She might
I'm
be
not sure.
busy with the kids.
Can you hear me at all?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, so as I said, I have no idea if I am getting them back. But at the same time, I'm not really attached to physical stuff, like really to anything in in this world. And so, like, yeah, I'm missing my ukulele more than my art, you know, and I would like to get it with myself. So, but I think that it is a part of your story, and if you tell it as a story, and as Jimmy said, market it as such, why not? If it makes you feel sorry and you want to like uh, show the exclusivity of it, then definitely price higher. Why not? Like it's the story that you bring to this NFT space. So anything goes really. If you feel like that, do it.
Thank you very much. Um, who's this down here? Merchants. Do you have anything else to say?
Yeah, I wanted to say that if it's just destroyed, you can literally. I feel like you can like take a picture, not take a picture, maybe take a picture or scan it, and like mint the destroyed version. I know I had the idea. I was like mint the destroyed version as an NFT, and then you can tell the story from there.
Man, that's such a good idea. I love that. But yeah, there's I got a couple of them around that are kind of they're messed up, but yeah, that would have been pretty cool.
Oh, and then
Yeah, no,
Jimmy.
I don't know if you guys are familiar with Posey Young. She uh, is an artist. She's still in the space. She's got a very popular series called The Running Rabbit. But a couple of years ago, she took one of her pieces and she sold the physical with the NFT and gave the collector the option, to take either both or whatever. And the collector opted to destroy the physical piece. And it was something that she was very attached to. It was a very emotional piece. She ended up destroying it. Um, and that made the NFT version of it more valuable, but it also branched out to a whole other realm of work that she created since then. So, what works for somebody, may not work for you, but there are opportunities to evolve that story into other things, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, definitely. There's a lot of things I can do with this. Make like a tragedy into something good. Now that y'all are like putting this into my head, so it's really good. I can just find different ways to capitalize on this. But yeah, it kind of sucks. It was 12 paintings, like probably like 200 hours worth of work, and just like because I sell my physical paintings and then I'll like make NFTs. But I've done the whole thing. I've done it also to where I'll ship off the physical piece and then make the one-on-one NFT too. And then, but yeah, thank y'all for all y'all's input. I really appreciate it, everybody. I'll probably see y'all tomorrow. Now that I'm part of the Tezos community.
Oh yeah, definitely follow everyone in this room. Jump on the event. Follow everyone who does it, and you'll be very integrated very soon. So I do just want to move along a little bit. My baby's got to wake up any minute. I'm pushing the limits of her nap. I just want to get to the last couple of speakers. So did we lose Sally? Oh, I feel bad. Sally has troubles with internet connection, so it looks like she got dropped down. But it looks like our last speaker might be Elmo and then J Dubs, and then we can do our closing thoughts. Just because once my baby wakes up, I all bets are off. So Elmo, can we go to you?
Absolutely. Thanks for having me on. I've been collecting here on Tezos for probably close to a year and a half now, and one of the things I actually came from the finance world, trading and whatnot, and when I came to check out the NFT space, one of the things that really attracted me to Tezos was the fact that I found this group of people who were talking about the art, right, as opposed to return on investment, and it seemed like almost every NFT space I found myself in, people were just talking about how they're gonna get rich quick or something, right? And I think there's something very special with the fact that the people that are here are really focusing on art, and I think that is something that's happened several different times in history, and usually happens in spaces, if done properly and you know uh, becomes as popular as people hope it will, it usually ends up creating a new art movement, right? So that was something that was really attractive to me. And also, that eventually just kind of spilled over into me being more involved in the art world and um, developing a passion for learning about art, um, which I probably never would have gotten into if it wasn't for Tezos, right? So there's plenty of reasons, to love Tezos. The art, the artists, and I hate to say it because I know it's a buzzword, but the community here is just solid, guys, right? And it's not just me that sees it. There's a lot of people that see it, and I think big things are yet to come here on Tezos, and so that's why I will continue to collect on Tezos.
Wow, I love that so much. I love that you are motivated to learn about art because of Tezos instead of the other way around. That's really wonderful to hear.
Yeah, yeah, no doubt. Yeah, we actually started our own art education classes that we host for free here as well, in on Twitter. So it's become a thing. It's taken a new shape, uh, and it's super exciting. I absolutely love it. I'm in love with it.
That's awesome. Yeah, I was actually thinking the other day, like when I was talking in like the Tez Tunas group that we have, and it just reminded me of like Mary Shelley and Lord Byron and how they all hung out together and they all create these great works at the same time. Sometimes when I'm in these DM chats seeing this amazing work that no one else in the world knows about, I feel like I'm like, wait, is this that room? Is this that cabin just on the internet? Like, is that what's
A
happening here?
hundred
So I
percent.
definitely get that feeling.
Yeah, no, these are the taverns that Pollock and some of the greatest artists in New York would hang out in the early days and debate these ideas of what is art and what is not. What's happening on Twitter Spaces is no different than that, right? So enjoy the ride. Enjoy the ride.
Awesome. Thank you so much for sharing. And I don't mean to hurry, but like I said, baby's gonna stir. So let's go to Jay. Hello, Jay.
Hello, how are you doing?
I'm doing great. How about you?
Doing good. Thanks for having me. I saw the Tezos up in the top on different groups, and I have never been into Tezos, but lately all I've been hearing is Tezos, and it's making me rethink different cryptos and blockchains. And so I'm really thrilled with what the community is doing for Tezos. I don't think it's so much Tezos doing it for the community. Yeah, but big things for sure. And I would definitely like to encourage people because about a month ago, our family got sick from the flu, and we were it was for about a month that it went through our family, and I could hardly engage on any of these spaces. And I see some familiar people down there that are artists, and I'm an artist also. But this little famine in our or, pestilence in our family made me rethink on how I could personally contribute back to the crypto community. So I created a web space called litterboxdrops.com. The pin is in my profile or my link, my space. So if anybody is here, I would love to see people with Tezos projects, and you can go over to the website and sign up and post for free in the forum. There's either a forum crypto for projects there or forum NFTs. And I would be just thrilled for any artist in here with Tezos NFT projects. You can go over and drop it on the website for free to help get any more exposure. It is a brand new website. I've been building it up and I literally launched it yesterday. So, yeah, thanks for having me. Again, I love to see what Tezos is doing. And I was on a space yesterday and all I heard was Tezos. So, fantastic. And you are a wonderful host, by the way. So, thank you for having all of us.
Well, thank you very much. I wrote that down. So it's litterboxdrops.com. It's always great to have new ways to, share art and get it seen and get it out there. So thank you. I will definitely check that out, and thank you for letting us know about it. And so I did have Taz and Sebastian sneak up. So we'll go with Taz and then Sebastian.
Hi, everybody. It's great to be here. Thank you so much for giving me the space. I see so many friends. So glad.
Hi, we're happy to have you. So how long have you been on Tezos? Do you collect? What's going on?
Yes, my first piece that I collect was on October 2021. Was a piece from Cynthia Ponce, and then I minted my first piece in November 2021. My story is a little bit like Marianne. Hi, Marianne. Um, that I collect Tesla because I can. And as soon as I was selling my pieces, I was reinvesting that money in more pieces. First, because as you said, I can. Second, because I do love the art here. And I see Tesla's art, I always seen that as the underground NFT marketplace. So you have like the mainstream global blockchain market, which would be like if Ethereum, and then when you want to find a real underground, rare, and kind of like weird artwork, you will come here. But at the same time, you see that many of the big names right now on the NFT space, NFT artists and stuff, they have their pieces with their prices increasing. But you check them and you see that those big artists, they have art on Tezos too. So for me, it's a place to find underground art, but at the same time, affordable pieces for recognized artists as well. So I was reading, Lauren, what you just what you created, that post that you did. I think it's a great initiative. I'm going to seriously consider it because it's been already a while, almost like 15 or 16 months without minting on Tethos. That's unacceptable. So I might consider seriously. I think that this is a good initiative and a good excuse to get back to Tezos.
Awesome. I'm glad to hear that. Like, I love that you collected first and then started minting, which is pretty cool. And yes, I feel like events they're just fun. They bring a spark of joy to the community. We're all like rallied around one cause. It is a great excuse to pop some work up. So thank you for joining and sharing us. It was nice getting to hear from you. And so I think our last new speaker is gonna be Sebastian. Fine, go ahead.
Wait. Are you closing up or something? I don't know what's going on, but is it like, am I the last one? Is it finished soon?
You're the last one. We've been going for like an hour and 45 minutes here. It was only supposed to be 90 minutes max. So
Oh shit, yeah. Damn, here I go again, being the last one. That puts so much more pressure on me. I actually just wanted to say hi, and I was bored. I don't even know what the space is about, but I guess about why do you collect Tezos? It's very simple because someone gave me a lot of Tezos. That someone is you, Lauren, and then I had Tezos, so I didn't have any other, you know, form of cryptocurrency. Um, Basically it's your fault that I collect Tezos. Although it's been a while, I must admit. But yeah, so I actually came up to say just to say hi, and yeah, hi.
I'm struggling here. Hello. Yes, I'm glad you're. Aren't you? Are you in Italy right now from your failed Japan trip?
Yes, I'm in Sardinia. Yeah, I'm not sure if I want to get into the failed Japan thing. It makes me uh, a little bit aggressive and sad, and but I must say, Sardinia is not a bad place to be. I've been here like maybe 15 years ago, and my brain is actually fried from all the interneting. Um, so I don't really remember, which is good because now everything seems like and like it's new and exciting. So I'm actually quite happy to be here. Also quite happy to not have a jet lag, and happy that I could have a hike today in, well, like it was like 15 or 16 degrees Celsius, which I don't know what that is in Fahrenheit, probably like 40, 52, 6, I don't know, man. But it was, decent enough. It's far from freezing, so I was quite happy. I was near the sea. Yeah, I was actually going to Japan to photograph crane birds. You call them crane birds?
We do, yep.
Yeah, you know, crane birds. It looks nice, man, but you got to spend hours in the snow and hope for them you know, to be there and be enthusiastic and mingle and preferably, have intercourse as well. That would have made me pretty cold and frozen and frosty and frostbitten. And now now I saw flamingos. Flamingos are nice because they're pink and and it's always warm when you're around flamingos. So it's yeah, the the
Oh
anger that
my
I
God,
had for not going to
Sebastian is
Japan.
really bored. You're like really bored.
What I don't know why you say this, but
No, no,
yes.
really, really bored, aren't you? But I'm just gonna stop. I'm just gonna let you stop talking because honestly, I don't want to listen to what was it? The intercourse between who? But I gotta say, Sebastian, I think you're one of my favorite finds on Tezos. It was such a pleasant surprise. Like I ran across your. Obviously, I know you, right? So we know each other from eons, but I saw your work on Tezos and I was just blown away, and I couldn't get enough. I was like, oh, I love this, I want this, I love that, I want that. And honestly, like, you know how you find like a gem of an artist that you totally like want to swipe it off of everything? That was you. So, Lauren, was that you who onboarded him?
No, just funded. Just funded.
So, Sebastian, you definitely should shoot those flamingos, drop them on Tezos.
And kind of
We will
involuntarily,
fund
because I had
you
the
a
same
little bit.
reaction. I was like, oh, look at this lion. Oh my God, look at this elephant. Oh my God. Oh
Lauren
my
cannot
God.
hear me,
It
I
became a
suppose.
problem very
Okay.
quickly.
This was hilarious. This was, I was actually bored, actually, but this was hilarious. I thought this was This is, one of the best space moments I have had since many, many weeks. Thank you, Lauren. Sorry, Irina, I didn't really understand because Lauren was actually cutting you off
Yeah,
or talking
Lauren
Oh,
over
I'm
you.
so
basically
sorry. So
talked
I can't
over
hear
you.
anything Arena's saying. Twitter's doing that thing where it's decided that I don't get to hear Arena today. So if Arena can like give me a big thumbs up when she's done talking or starting talking, I will let you guys hear her thoughts. But I do want to close up. So if Arena wants to go with some final thoughts, and then Toko, but Arena, like throw some emojis when you're done talking, and I will do my best to be quiet.
Okay. Okay. I was going to say, Sebastian, why don't you shoot those flamingos and drop them, and we will fund you a little bit more so you can collect more. How's
No,
that?
no, 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 no. You remember when I went to the south of France like a couple of months ago? I shot flamingos. I minted flamingos, and those flamingos they didn't do very well. So yeah, you know, I do like flamingos, but I'm not gonna mint anymore. So it's yeah. I have other good stuff though. I've 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 been traveling so much and not minting that I feel like it's all coming to this big explosion, right? It's when you go to Taco Bell and you eat so much, and then it's gonna, shit is gonna hit the fan at some point. It's building up, and the big release will be at some point in the near future. Lauren, you can speak now.
Yeah, I think
Thank you.
that's done.
Oh my God, what a ridiculous way to end it. All right. Choco, do you have any last thoughts before I give my last thoughts?
Yes, ma'am. Very happy for everybody who came in today. I hope that if you've only been thinking of minting on Tezos or collecting on Tezos, I hope you'll give it a try. The wallets are Kukai, Temple, and non-wallets would be my favorite. And Object, objkt.com is sort of the OpenSea or the main marketplace there. So just for people who don't even know where to get started. But um, it's been a great conversation today to hear the variety of reasons everybody's collecting. I look forward to seeing what everyone is making who has come up here today, and the people who say that they're new. I'm really looking forward to what they're going to add to the conversation, to the art community. It's always exciting, and make sure that you participate in this Tezos event, my one and only. It's a super fun and easy way to get started and get involved in the community that way and get to know other artists and have other artists check out your work. So you're gonna want to participate in that. Thank you, Lauren.
Awesome. I'll go to you 1 second, Arena. Yeah, I just want to say thank you to everyone who joined today. If you shared the chat bubble, if you'd shared it when the space is over, I will post, if you're new, I have on my blog like how-to guides of how to be in a Tezos event, how to mint on object, how to create a collection, all that stuff. So if you need help getting started, I will drop those links in the bubble once this space is over, because I'll rug if I try to do it now. But I do want to say thank you to everyone. Definitely consider participating in my one and only. And the most important thing you can do if you don't participate is share, retweet, support it, and follow anyone that you see participating, because these are people that are actively involved in the Tezos community right now. These are the people you want to grow with. So if you see someone drop that hashtag, give them a follow. And like I said, next week we're going to have a shorter space. It's going to be an interview with Lily White, and she's going to give us a rundown on the history and background of Tezos spaces. So I will let Arena finish up. And Arena, when you're done talking, if you just want to like throw me 3 hearts in Morse code, so I know you're done, that would be great.
No, I really didn't intend to raise my hand. I was going to throw 100 and occasionally raise the hand. So thank you everyone for coming up today, and see you in the one and only event. And thank you for the space. Thank you, Lauren, though you don't hear me.
Throw. Lauren, Arena's done talking.
I don't know why Twitter does these things, but one of these days we'll get sorted out. All
It's
right.
just to add a little spiciness to the end of the space.
No,
Exactly.
it's something co-host related. I don't know why. Like it doesn't happen with the speakers. It just happens with the co-host.
I like the
Yeah,
co-host.
it's been happening. Yeah, it's not just this space, but yeah.
The co-host is like the worst person to lose the ability to listen to, but okay, whatever, Twitter. But anyway, thank you all for coming so much. It was a great conversation. I enjoyed it a lot. I will be posting the link on my blog and everything so everyone can rehash it. If you want to share it with other people who you're trying to onboard, it will be available as soon as I get around to it. So sorry, I see someone requesting, but I do have to close because my kids need attention. So all right, bye. Thank you, everybody.